we are going to see this, and I want to share a different file. Can I? This is the statistical analysis that we did about the youth centers, and we analyzed all of youth centers and put them into a statistical engine. The statistical engine, what it does is, let's see if for each of these answers that were given into the specific youth center, are there similarities? So are there groups? So now you see that there are 4 groups, 4 clusters of youth centers. I'll start from the bottom. The Portuguese cluster, the Swedish cluster, the German cluster, and the Polish-Italian cluster.
Sorry, what do you mean by cluster here?
I mean that we had some questionnaires, okay? And we had all the answers to the questionnaires. So, for example, a question could be, is there a... Is it...
Groups.
Yes. Is the youth center mandatory by law in your country? Yes or no? Okay.
But the cluster itself isn't in Italy, German, Swedish.
No. But we saw that countries went inside of these clusters quite neatly. That's why we called it like this. Let's look at the first.
So it means that in one cluster there are the group of youth centers that are significantly the most similar. Statistically more similar. And apparently, all the youth centers from Germany, from Sweden, from the same countries are statistically similar. So we can talk about the model for
Yes.
countries.
Let's say like this. So the countries is something that we. I hate this game. Very nice. So imagine that we put the countries here to understand, and because it fits, but the engine didn't care about countries much at first, or to be more precise, it cared about country just as much as it cared about something like, is the youth center mandatory by law? Or does this youth center has an outside pitch? All of these countries had, all of these youth centers had their question, had their data, had their characteristics, and the statistical engine said, are these characteristics related to each other? If I plot them all on a graph, are we gonna find some centers that are more similar to each other? And it found 4 groups of centers that are more similar to each other. So there is a group here, a group here, a group here, and a group here of youth centers which are more similar to each other instead of the rest. Okay? And then we found that these 4 clusters actually are the countries, except for Poland and Italy, that are in the same group. Okay?
Yay!
It's like you created 2 countries, one Italy.
Yes. That's why the name of the cluster is Politaly. Because it is the class, the set of youth center, this set of youth center had all of the Italian and Polish youth centers that shared a lot of characteristics.
All of them. There's no youth center from Poland that could go into different cluster.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Because as you can see, don't look at the percentage, but the percentage can help you in understanding that all of them are inside of the loop. Like in the cluster 1, you see there are 0 center from Germany, 6 from Italy, 5 from Poland, 0 from Portugal, and 0 from Sweden. You see, so also Italy, if you see the column, there are 6 in the first group, then 0, 0, 0. Poland, 5 in the first group, then 0, 0, 0. So, therefore, we can call the group 1 for Italy. This is the same for German, because Germany is, look at first at the vertical, because the German was analyzed in the vertical. So, 0 in the first group, 5 is German is centered in second group, 0, 0. And so we can call this cluster that has 5 German center, and then also on the horizontal, 0, 0, 0 from other countries. This is the German cluster. Same for the group 3, which has 0, 0, 0, 0, except 12, and all of those 12 pertain to Sweden. So this is the Swedish group. Portuguese, the same, 00050, and so the Portuguese are here. So when I say that there are 4 models for Italy and the other countries, it's not because I divided them by country. The statistical engine looked at them, divided by 4 groups, and it happens that they fit neatly by country, except Poland and Italy. But this is good. This is good. Like for example, we can go up and see therefore that rural area. Okay, this is for Italy. Okay, cluster 1. There are 10 of that doesn't have, and just one that does. Like for example, so in the 11 youth centers that are in the cluster 1, 10 of them have no rural area.
I mean, they are not in a rural area.
Exactly.
Okay.
While just one is. In the second cluster, they are 5 and 0. So in the second cluster, they are no one in the rural area. In the third cluster, 11 no and 1 yes. In general, few youth centers you can see are in the rural area.
But that means that we just examine.
Sweden?
Huh?
Yes.
See, 3 is Sweden. I didn't put the names here, but I put them all of the following tables from here. You see, I call them for Italy. So let's look at some, because these are a lot. Okay, so this is a lot of tables. We can look at the most interesting, because church nearby, parks nearby, we don't care so much. We can look at the most interesting that are, for example, I put, you see, okay. Policy document. Why did I put these colors? Because we can see that at the policy document tells us that Germany is basically top heavy in the sense that was asked. Okay? Because this is a question. Does a policy document exist? No, 0. Yes, at both national and local levels. 1 only at local levels, 1 at national level. So Germany exists at both national and local levels. All of 5 German centers are here. They answered here, yes, at the local and national levels, 100%. Sweden, only at local level, 12. All of them. Portugal, no. 5 doesn't exist a policy, but because they have directly the law. Okay. Mandatory youth center.
So they are based on the legal basis instead of the policy basis.
Yes.
And the policy is rather on the local level, and the municipal policy for youth centers, and that's the case for Sweden, because there's no national law on it, so it's regulated on the local level, but regulated in a way that this is not the law, but this is a policy. And Poland, Italy is rather not regulated.
Let's see. 5 of them don't have policy document
At all.
at all.
They just exist because somebody wanted them.
Yes.
They just opened.
While there are no national policy documents about youth centers.
No strategy, no nothing.
And while 4 have a local policy document.
So municipal policy on.
Actually, they say that at national level there are 2. So these are youth centers, okay? So the answers of this center are, each youth center answers 1 time. 5 youth center answered no, there is no policy document. 0 youth center said that there is both local and national policy document. 4 answered that there is at local level. And 2 answered there is yes at national level, but not at local level. But for example, this national level policy document, I can make an example because I know the Salesiani Don Bosco can be considered to have a national level policy document because they are a church institute that has national level policy document. They don't have local policy document because they are a network of 200 youth centers, religious youth centers. they have one policy document at national level or even international level because they are also in Brazil. Okay, mandatory youth center is also neat because it also segregates. It's neat when it segregates. I know it's strange to say it's very, but this is statistics is neat when it goes into boxes clearly.
Yeah.
So, for example, is the youth center mandatory? No youth center in Italy or Poland is mandatory.
But because mandatory not for the participants to come in, but mandatory for the state to establish.
Swedish people could get confused there. So you see, the zero is to read. Zero is on the top is no, and one is yes. Okay. So is the youth center mandatory? No, 11 of the Politally. Yes, 0. Is the youth center mandatory for Germany and Sweden? Yes, all of them, 5 and 12.
But not by law.
Not to go, to organize it.
Yeah, but not,
Okay.
they're not legally obliged.
To go. You do it.
No, to establish.
To start. When it's established, the local actually I think I have to look at the question because this is a synthesis, okay? I have to look at how the question is formulated. Portuguese Youth Center, not mandatory. Okay, so I have to look at the question later because, of course, otherwise it can get confusing. Let's look at some other interesting setup. So, does the city council has the last say on the youth center? This is the difference between the German model and the Swedish model, and maybe a reason why the German and Swedish are different. Because for the German model, the city council has not the power to remove or to create the youth center. At least this says these answers, because the power is in the hands of someone else, maybe a higher level of legislation. Because Germany answers to the question, does the city council have the last say? In Germany, no, 5. Does the city council has the last say in Sweden? Yes, because 12 Swedish youth centers, all of them, the Swedish youth centers, come from city council decisions. Okay? Statutes. We can see that, yeah, this was interesting because all of its centers have statutes in all of these 3 groups. These 3 groups, 2, 3, and 4, they never answer no to the possession of the statute. They always answer yes, 5, 12, and 5 on bottom right. So a statute always exists, except if you are in cluster 1. If you are in cluster 1, there is like a 50-50. The statute code 7 of the 11 total inside of this cluster have a statute, but 4 do not.
So 4 youth centers don't have any rules.
Yes.
Written.
Contract type, okay, interesting. This is very difficult. Was one of the most difficult things to interpret because it's a very difficult topic in itself. The type of relationship with the administration or local authority. But we can see that to the question what kind of contract you have, the political clusters is the only one that has 2 purely private youth centers. There are no, if you see, this down is the total, okay? So in total, there are only 2 purely private owned youth centers, and both of them are in the political cluster.
Both in Italy, yes.
Yeah.
Also, that cluster has the majority of public-private co-managements.
Also, yes. Also, yes. Well, for example, in Sweden, 11 of them, except 1, is purely public. on the center right, and Germany is quite evenly split between co-management and purely public. There are a lot of things here. As you see, there are a lot of questions. Is research made in youth centers? This is an interesting fact.
Research on the young people's needs,
Yeah.
expectations on young people.
Yes. So, first cluster, maybe even 8 out of 11 say yes in the first cluster, Poland and Italy. In German, they say yes, we always do research on the needs of young people. In Sweden, paradoxically, if we see the other answer, they say no, we don't do research because we have fun here. We don't do research because we have fun. This is a place for fun, not for research about the need.
That must be differently understood. Because in the same sense, in Germany, there's no like research. They're not answering questions, but they are just in the relation with youth workers, so that youth workers know what they need. But it's not like structured research. So probably you also answered.
For sure, this is a start, I think, of an analysis. But you can, one of the problems with this analysis, which is good analysis, can be improved by making less questions, but instead increasing the number of youth centers that answer these questions. Because otherwise, the statistical model has too few elements, too few samples, and too many questions.
Can you repeat the part that you said about like Sweden, the metrics before, impact metrics collected? The one
Yes.
about what was that research?
Yes, it was research.
The one with 70, that one, yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's strange to say, but Sweden, they answer, they don't. Zero is no, make research, all of them, on the need of young people. Why? This is an interpretation, because their philosophy is here we have fun in the youth center. This is for free time. It's not to see the need of young people. We go to see the need of young people maybe outside. It's not that they don't make research, because I'm sure they do, but they don't do it in the youth center.
I would interpret it in a different way. So the same way as in Germany, it's not like the research is done on the young people that are coming to the youth center by doing systematic questionnaires and applying methodology, but just by relations with young people, so that the youth workers know what their needs are. But this is not systematic research. So in this way, no, it's not that they don't care about it or just have fun.
But you can also see in another perspective. If the young people in the Swedish youth center participate in the activities, ask the adults things, the adults give them things, is this not something that surpasses research of the need because they are already in the young people already set the needs?
Exactly. No? So is it a research or not? No, they said no because they don't classify it as research.
Yes, they don't classify it as research.
But they do Guidebook.
Yeah.
Which for us is
maybe before even opening, or maybe if before even opening youth centers, they have. I think what you both said. They make research before opening the youth center. So when they create it, they may have a model which is already structured.
That's another way to read the question. No? Is it research made on young people that are coming to the youth center, or before among young people if the youth center is needed? And they don't do that because it's needed. They know it's needed. No?
Yeah. Double employees. This is very interesting. So, in Politaly, 50-50. This is brown because I should also, there should be green also here, you see, because this is part of the task.
It's not 100%.
But you can see that if there is a place where there are no stable employees, it's in Poland or Italy. All other countries have stable employees always.
Yeah.
Because it's 000 the other answers. That's why I put 100% there. Because it's 100% of the answer. No, 0 is no to stable employee.
So 5 are there, but they're not stable.
5 no, 5 are stable employees and 6 are not. While in Germany, Sweden, Portugal, all the employees are stable, you see?
There is no youth center in the pool that has no.
Yeah, yeah. Budget body, very complicated. This is budget flux administration. Again, here we see the question is, does the administration gives a budget flux to the youth center? Again, the 100% of the no are from the political cluster. And they also have, however, 3 answers, 60% of dedicated funding from one public actor. And also, but have 100% of the also very low point answer, only bill payments and irregular. 4 answered like this, and it's 100% of them are in the first cluster. And so on. Budget flux private, of course, was complicated. I didn't see anything that worth mentioning. Managers are public. So all private managers, 90% here for Italy. In Germany, mostly private. In Sweden, all public, 11, except 1. All private, 1, all public, 11 of 12. Portuguese, 5, which is all because they have 0, 0, 0, all public in Portugal. Human power is also very interesting. How many people do work in these youth centers? 0 people. 0 people. This is 0 to 1. 0 to 1 people in Italy, or 1 to 2 also. In Germany, they always have at least 3 to 4 people. It's the highest. Okay? In Sweden, they are more efficient. Maybe they have 2 to 3 people.
They have 5.
There are 5 youth centers that have 2 to 3 people. Portugal, same as Sweden, 2 to 3 people in most of the youth centers. These are peaks, okay, but there are also outliers. Like there are also Poland and Italy youth centers that have more than 5 people, 2 there, or 3 to 5, 3 there. But I was looking for the peaks. So most of Polish Italy youth centers work with minimal personnel. Most of Germans work with a lot of personnel, and Sweden and Portuguese are their peak on average. This is the statistical engine that says to itself, how is this analysis? It's sufficient.
Yeah. Bravo.
Okay, so
The clusters that statistically speaking, the clusters that you defined, so the 4 clusters are defined from the combination of all these correlations, right?
yes, exactly.
I have a question, but maybe Elena and Carla will answer that. Because I don't, for me and for my perception of youth center, Portugal is not in the same situation that other countries are.
In fact, it's its own model group. It's its own cluster.
Yeah, because for me, I don't even call it youth center. We had in the 80s and in the 90s a lot of youth houses, and that's why we have so much laws
Okay.
about the creation of these houses. But then they start disappearing, and now these youth centers I would go to another thing, not to say.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I need to. It's a link, I think.
I don't know.
Or if you share the drive,
I will
a
wait
page on the
for
drive,
the
we can
presentation of
go
Elena
there.
and Carla,
Okay.
because I can say here with maybe I'm not right. Yes.
Safari, look, there's no
If you,
safari.
if you, there's no
Because
safari.
in Portugal, you have a lot of places,
There's no
public,
I think.
where the kids can come.
control
But
panel.
it's more
Find it.
to do homeworks and to stay
I
until
don't know.
the parents come. It's a peer center. It's another.
But it's there.
Elena knows more than me.
Okay.
It's more like studying.
Go to the, yeah, it's good then, it's good then. I can look. I can,
Poland,
It's not
in primary schools, we have something like students, I don't know how to translate it, you can go after the lessons there and wait for the parents to come. And do homeworks, I
Something like
guess.
this, but.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
Carla from Portugal, and maybe I can make a comment about what Marina was saying. I believe Marina is more closer to the experience of youth centers or kids centers in parishes, which I believe she was talking about. And these youth centers or projects are more focused on extracurricular activities and helping somehow also the families with a place to kids to go and activities for them after. We also have other type of youth centers that are more directed for youth associations. They mostly do a work with these youth associations or organizations with young people or for young people, and mostly they are a place where youth associations can do activities. For example, in Lisbon and in Almada, that is very close, a municipality close to Lisbon. We have examples of two youth centers, and one of them in Lisbon have the CO label that are mostly focused on this type of activities, and they provide spaces with protocols or with the associations. They provide spaces for them to do their activities, or they can do activities together with the youth center. So, Marina, what was your question? Did I explain a little bit? Or do you want to?
Maybe in the presentation you have with Elena, maybe my question will be answered, because I think the spaces in Portugal that I know are different from these places that we saw, but I don't know. It's okay.
Yes, youth centers yeah, the models could differ between the countries. And for example, in these youth centers, they are not like, well, theoretically, they are open and they have some places where young people can be there. But in the practice, they are more like this structure of spaces where associations or organizations can do the activities. It's not
And I guess,
maybe.
Carla, I guess it's the purpose that changes. The reason why they exist, I guess it's different. Maybe in Poland, I don't know, but in Italy, in Sweden, and in German, you need a place to stay if you want to in Portugal, you need a place to stay because parents don't have where to put the kids while they are working. Am I wrong?
No, yeah, but that it's the model for the kids, right?
Okay.
I believe that's outside of the age range of the centers, in my perception.
Yeah, you have two types.
That's very nice because it's a perfect segue into this that I wanted to show. This is the age range fun that I made artisanally on Excel. As you can see, this is basically a line that goes from the age of 6, okay, to the age of 38 years old. And basically, these are the youth centers. So Italian youth centers host these, you see? They are different between each other. Some youth center only gets to 25 years old and stops. But on average, Italian youth centers are open to youth up to 35. Okay? On the opposite, Germany here has a hard limit, okay, to youth centers. Sweden also, if we avoid the one outlier, Sweden has a hard limit at 25. There is this youth center that for Sweden says we can host people up to 100 years old.
Depends how they
From
feel.
6.
Yes, from 6, because it's open to everyone.
No, from one, I see.
From 1, yes.
1 to 100.
Yes. No, from 6 because
Like board
here
games.
is 6.
Yes.
Also in Portugal there is something like this, but this is just 6 to 7. No, 6 to 17. Is this my mistake? No, okay, because this one stops here. This Portuguese youth center. But then there is this one that is 12 to 35. So this youth center from Portugal arrives to 25 years old, approaching Italy territory, basically. In Poland, it's a little bit shorter than German territory, but it's the same as Swedish. They say no, we stop at 25. We start from 11. But again, it's two types really, because the two types that start from 11 close at 18.
Which one is that?
These are two semi-youth centers, Yamaha, and youth cultural houses.
So not really youth centers.
And this is for the age range, you can have fun. I have also contract type fun because I was not satisfied with the statistical analysis and I made some other stuff because I love to work without a prompt. I love to work more. So this is via color, okay? This is all youth centers. How do they answer with different colors to the question of contract type? So yellow is co-management, green is public initiative and assignment, orange is purely private, and blue is purely public. And so you can see first how countries are colored. You see that Portugal is all purely public colored. Italy has no purely public color. It's always either co-management or private or something in between. Germany and Poland share a cluster in this because they are both either all public or a bit public and then given to some NGO. Sweden has no like given to NGO, at least the survey, but has one co-management. No, has one third-party management public initiative. Yes, okay. So the relationship between this cluster is Italy is similar to Sweden and Germany and Poland because they have the same, they have colors. But Portugal is so different from Italy. It's interesting, no? So on this level, it's the opposite. So Italy and Portugal are not related. Germany and Poland are similar. Sweden and Germany and Poland are not very similar because Sweden is almost like Portugal. Also, Portugal and Sweden are not very similar because Sweden has an option that Portugal does not. And this is finished. Thank you very much.
Bravo.